Alright, so first things first. My camera's fucked. Yeah, I'm looking at the little side panel where it shows what's being recorded, and usually when you flip it out this way, you can actually see yourself, but I can see myself, but I'm upside down. So I think my camera's broken. I think it's broken beyond repair, as far as I know, which sucks. But I am planning on getting a new one soon. But, that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to show you the beers that I brought back with me to Montreal from Newfoundland when I went there on Christmas vacation in 2019 at the end of the year. Now, most of these are from either Nova Scotia or Montreal, which is a bit ironic. I didn't bring back any unique beers from Newfoundland with me, simply because my hometown doesn't exactly have a lot to show when it comes to unique craft beers that are brewed in Newfoundland. It's mostly stuff from Nova Scotia that you get there. And the ones that I have from Montreal were actually given to me by my girlfriend as a Christmas gift, by my lovely, beautiful girlfriend who just really must want to see me turn into a raging alcoholic even more than I do. So, that was a joke, by the way, Aaron. I know you don't want that. Without further ado, I will get into this. A couple of these, I'm going to show you the ones that I already, unfortunately, drank first. Because this video took a long time to make simply because of all the things that were happening around the end of December and January, and of course with the Fog Lake tour. So I ended up drinking a couple of these beforehand. There's a lot here from this specific brewery. This is the Spindrift Hurricane. Hurricane IPA. Yeah. So obviously this is done by the Spindrift Brewing Company, which is based in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, or Dartmouth. I'm not sure how exactly you pronounce that. Very basic ingredients, just the main four: water, malt, hops, and yeast that you find in basically every beer. I really like the art on this. All the Spindrift cans have really nice, attractive artwork, which is what really drew me into them in the first place. This is a 6.2%, and it's classified as a strong beer, of course, because it's an IPA. And I don't quite remember exactly how this one tasted, but I do remember liking it quite a bit. When it comes to Spindrift, I've liked most of the things that I've had from them, so I say this is definitely a quality one. The next is also from Spindrift. This is the Wheelhouse Rattler. And the art on this one is really cool too. Of course, I quite like it, just like the last one, like I said. I like how the can is this kind of bright gradient of orange and yellow going up and down. That's really cool. And this one includes water, malt, hops, and yeast, of course, but also natural fruit concentrate and natural sweeteners. Of course, Rattlers are essentially grapefruit ales. They kind of taste like ciders, depending on which one you have. I had a Rattler like last night, I think it was, and it was closer to a cider than this one was. This one was closer to being a beer. But it's classified as a light beer specifically, and it's 4%, and this one was fucking delicious. I do remember this one quite a bit. It stood out a lot to me, and I loved it. So if you're a fan of fruity beers, definitely go for this one. The other one that I have that I've already drank is one that Aaron gave to me. I don't know too much about it because I couldn't find much about it on the internet, honestly. It's just called Chi. And obviously, as you can tell by the art there, it's got this kind of like, I think that's a Chinese vibe going on. Yeah, it's actually a ginger wheat beer. And it was done by Brasseur de Montreal. It's 4.5%, and even though, oh yeah, so it is from Montreal, of course. I was confused because it says Rue Ottawa, and I was like, what the fuck, why is it from Montreal, but all it says it's from Ottawa? That doesn't make any sense. But this one, I remember being really good, a little bit spicy, but it was interesting. I haven't had a beer that like tasted this gingery before. The description on the back says, this unfiltered ginger-flavored white beer provides an explosion of freshness up front and rounds off with a beautiful citrus and lemongrass finish. And I would say that's completely accurate. I remember this one, it stood out a lot to me when I drank it at the Christmas party that we had here at the apartment, and it was really nice. So thank you, Aaron. You're a sweetheart for getting this for me. So yeah, those are the three that I've already drank out of this beer haul. And if I still lived in Newfoundland, I would collect these cans because my dad has a giant shed that I would love to just store them in and like display them on a shelf or something, but there's just no space for that in this apartment, especially given the amount of different beers that I drink all the fucking time. Like, it would get really hard. And usually I like to rip the labels off if I can, but these are the kinds of cans where like it's really difficult to get the label off, and when you do, they're curved at the top, so it makes it really difficult to get them without ripping them. So unfortunately these guys are going to go in the recycling. I'll put you over here for now. And moving on to the ones that I haven't drank yet. Two more from Spindrift, because I actually bought a 4-pack when I was in the Halifax airport flying back to Montreal. The first is, definitely has my favorite name. It's the Abyss Black Lager. I like the art on here too, just a nice little buoy there that's all like black and white. Well, I guess it's more like black and cream yellowish white, off-white I guess. It's classified as a lager, of course. It's 4.8%, and again, done by Spindrift, based in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. So I haven't had this one yet, but hopefully we'll get some more beer drinking, beer tasting videos done soon. Because coming back from the Fog Lake tour, which I did a week ago, I brought back another like 6 or 7 beers from the US. So that's like a lot of videos to do. The next one is the Naughty Boy Pilsner. Well, it just says Pils, but I'm assuming that stands for Pilsner, even though it's classified as a lager. I'm not quite sure the distinction between the two. This is also a 4.8%, and again done by Spindrift Brewing in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Now this one is a little bit interesting. This one is from Alexander Keith's, actually, which is also based in Nova Scotia, based in Halifax specifically. This is the Lunenburg Coffee and Cocoa Stout. So the reason I haven't had this one yet is because I like to have beer later at night, and I've yet to have a day where I can convince myself to have a beer that also has caffeine in it and is basically coffee and beer mixed together, because I also like to try and get to sleep at a reasonable hour most of the time. This is, of course, a stout. It's classified as a strong stout. It's 6.5%, and yeah, it's from Alexander Keith's brewery, which is based in Halifax, Nova Scotia. On the back, it says, a stout with bold roasted flavor, brewed with dark malts, cocoa nibs, and Laughing Whale coffee beans. So it's actually a collaboration between Alexander Keith's and the Laughing Whale coffee company. So that's pretty cool. My neighbors are being very loud right now. And this is the other beer that Aaron bought for me for Christmas, again a Montreal-based one. This is the Callus India Pale Ale, and this is the only one I have that's in a bottle from this haul. I really like the art on this one. It's really, really fucking cool. Just that skull thing there that's like shouting a chalice. That's fucking badass as hell. This is done by Microbrasserie Le Saint-Boc. It's 500 milliliters, of course, 6%, classified as a strong beer, of course being an IPA. And the description on the side reads, straight from the heavenly house of beer, our Callus is an angelic American IPA. Angelic. Its citrus notes, freshness, and divine hops will tempt your senses and deliver you from evil. According to legend, drinking a goblet of Callus, just like the Holy Grail, offers eternal life, so go ahead and enjoy a beer worthy of your devotion. Does that classify as false advertising? Because I really significantly doubt that this beer is going to give me eternal life. It's probably going to take a couple of years off my life, actually. And it's actually brewed in Saint Hyacinthe, Quebec. And on the side here, it has a few pairings, which I think is an interesting thing to do. Those symbols there. So you see you have steak, pork, chicken, cheese, peppers, and barbecue. and it says to serve at 9 degrees Celsius. Now, of course, I'm vegan, so I don't eat meat or cheese, but I'm sure that pairing this with the vegan equivalents of these items would still be, they'd probably still get the desired effect. Also, a unique cap on this one, Saint Bach. That's cool. So yeah, that about does it for the beers that I brought back with me from Newfoundland last time I was there, and the 2 beers that Aaron bought for me for Christmas. I'm going to have this one very soon. I can't wait to try it. But yeah, I will be making a video for my American beer haul, which I did at the end of January, very soon. But until that time, see you next time.